Okay, we are going to talk about the blessings of preparedness. First, the project I talked about in the community section that came out far too big. For some reason, it was like growing. Every time I looked at it, it was like getting longer and longer. I'm not sure how that happened. I think I just mismeasured the foundation chain. I must have been sleepwalking, daydreaming, or just too tired. Or it wasn't straight. I didn't flatten it out enough. And then when I realized it was too long, I should have frogged it then. But I kept going, thinking I could fix it later. Famous last words, don't think that. But I will say it frogged beautifully. It pulled just like butter. It didn't hang up on itself like a lot of types of yarn can do. A lot of types of yarn, if you try to frog those, you might as well just hang it up and just cut off that piece and start over because they just don't do so well. But this one, it did beautifully. I rolled it in a ball. I started over. I'm halfway back as far along as I was before. And it is about 1.5 feet shorter, which is what it needs to be so that I can actually have it fit me and do the beautiful border on it and everything. And after I'm further along, if you like it, I'll tell you who did the pattern. But it's really nice. It's a lot of puff stitches and a lot of double crochet and single crochet, and it's simple, really. And yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Nice pattern. I do think it looks better in the color I'm doing it in than the color I found it in. No disrespect to the lady who created the pattern, and it was beautiful, but it's just not, the color was not my taste. But color makes a big difference in certain things. Something can not look so good in a color to you, and if you do it in another color, it can look totally different, which was the case with this one. But all's well that ends well, and I'm going to continue with the project, and now it's the proper size. So, anyway, blessings of preparedness. Do you know the reason I could take time out to do crochet videos and teach some other people, try to teach someone else how to get started in this new hobby, this very calming hobby? Repetitive motion is very calming, and also is good for your arthritis. Well, it's because we're prepared. It's because we're prepared food-wise, and water-wise, and heat-wise. Wood-burning stove helps with that. And we have an alternate form of energy, 2 alternate forms of energy, actually. And just for my husband and myself, we're good to go probably for a couple of years on food. Plus, garden season comes around again if we need to add to that. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And if you have that, if you are secure in all of those things, you can then be a blessing to other people. I never advise anybody to try to give to other people before you have your family secure, because it's really biblical to not neglect your family. He who doesn't provide for his family is worse than an infidel, remember? So make sure your family is secure before you try to go being a do-gooder for other people. People can use you, and what if they use you and abuse you, and then your family's also out of luck? Don't do that. Make sure your family's secure before you try to help other people. And it's not required that you try to help other people. I mean, you've got to be very careful who you do help these days, because a lot of people already take advantage of you. But preparedness, knowing that you have food, water, supplies, medical supplies, that you can grow more food, that you have everything you need in one place, and you can help other people if you have to, is a blessing. And I want to be a blessing to other people in different ways. I wanted to help some learn a hobby that could help them deal with stress of today's world, what we're doing, what we're going through now. And I was very satisfied to hear that people were taking up this hobby or retaking it up that they had forgotten about years ago. They had forgotten how much they enjoyed it. And I couldn't do that if I had to worry about my food and my water and where my next meal was coming from, and what happens if the power goes out. Do I have any way to heat myself, or do I have any way to keep going? Do I have any way to turn on a light or a radio? Do I have any way to light my house? Do I have any way to put batteries in a flashlight? That kind of thing. I don't have to worry about that, so I can relax. Doesn't mean I've stopped preparing. It just means I am not frantic about it. I haven't been frantic about it ever, because we started so long ago doing little bits at a time. But it's a blessing to be prepared. There are blessings in total preparedness. And I was thinking about that as I was crocheting today, as I was taking out this one project that wasn't working out. So think about that. Think about how you can also be a blessing to somebody else. How can you be a bright spot in somebody else's day? And think about if you're ready for that yet. Do you have time? Do you have time? Is your family ready? Just a brief message today, and I hope you're doing some things to de-stress from this horrible world we're living in at the moment. Because worse things are coming, but we don't have to panic over them. Bye.